break your ankles if I post up, pivot. If I'm open and I shoot it, if not, then I dish it. Give it gold and I get it right back. Mismatch, took him right to the rack. Tell you haters, get off my back. Hit a ref, blow the whistle, and won in fact. Ain't no D'ing me up when I jump like Scotty just be.
Finally down to 5. I'm Zach Farmer with Examiner.com, and this is the final 5 of the top 25 best players in the WCC. So let's go ahead and let's get started with number 5. And number 5 is a player that has gone from freshman to Player of the Year candidate in less than 2 years, and I'm talking about LMU's Anthony Ireland. He grew up a lot in only 2 years, and a lot of that had to do with the injuries that occurred on his own team. When you had Ashley Hamilton go down, Drew Viney go down, Jared Dubois was missing for a year. All of these guys, because they were missing, allowed Anthony Ireland to grow up faster and to learn how to run Max Good's offense with the Lions more effectively, especially going into last year. Even without Viney, he helped the Lions get wins over UCLA and some other teams to help them kind of pad their resume before getting into conference play when they got Viney back. And even when Viney did return, Ireland was still the center of the offense and a big reason that the Lions were successful last year and should be again this year. At number 4 is Gonzaga guard Kevin Pangos. He was the WCC Newcomer of the Year a year ago, and he was a big part of the reason Gonzaga reached the 3rd round in the NCAA tournament and was near the top of the WCC once again. He had some of his best games against better competition. He lit it up against BYU in the WCC semifinals. He lit it up against St. Mary's when they played him in Spokane. His debut on national TV was something to behold as he hit 9 3-pointers in a single game, tying a Gonzaga team record. When you think about the explosiveness that Pangos brings night in and night out, especially from the 3-point line, this is a player that cannot be ignored and a player that should contend this year, along with his own teammate, Elias Harris, for WCC Player of the Year. And number 3 on this list is the best post player in the entire league, and that is BYU forward Brandon Davies. He came on stronger as the year went along after missing the last few games of the 2010-11 season for violating school rules. And he did his best damage against the best competition. He had a 28-point game against St. Mary's. He lit it up against Gonzaga. He did the same thing against Iona in the NCAA tournament. This is a guy who, if BYU is going to contend again next year for the WCC title, Davies will be an even bigger part to the equation. Without Hartzog and Aboyo down there on the post to help, it will be all Davies, along with number 11 on this list, Matt Carlino. Going forward, if he can get BYU to that top 3 spot and even slip into the 2nd or 3rd spot into the standings, there is a chance that Brandon Davies will be an enormous part to that, and also a good chance that he could end up with WCC Player of the Year, an award he was a candidate for this time a year ago. This next player might be the most NBA-ready player and could also make the most noise in the draft as well as in the NCAA this coming season. And at number 2 is Gonzaga forward Elias Harris. He rebounded last year after going through injuries during the 2010-11 season and came back even stronger than ever. He was a big reason why Gonzaga just kept getting better and better as the year went along. A big reason why they beat St. Mary's up in Spokane, a big reason they were able to beat BYU in Spokane, a big reason they reached the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament. Harris is quite possibly the most talented player in the entire league, and if he is able to do what many expect him to do, he could run away with the WCC Player of the Year. Well, I guess all that's left is St. Mary's guard Matthew Dellavedova. The reigning WCC Player of the Year will probably end up being the winningest player in St. Mary's history. When you consider this is a guy, for his freshman year, reached the Sweet 16 for the first time in St. Mary's history. This is a player that also won 28 games 2 seasons ago and then did it again this past season. This is a guy who all he does is win. I know that go the whole Tim Tebow thing, all he does is win, but really this is what he does. He scores, he shoots well, he passes, he plays solid defense. This is an undisputed leader of this team, and he has been an enormous difference maker for the St. Mary's program over the past 3 years, and next year will be no different. Expect him to be on the preseason Koozie list, on the preseason All-American list. This is a guy who is going to lead his team once again back to being a contender in the WCC, and could win the regular season title for the 3rd straight year, which would also be a St. Mary's record.